There are 5 critical conversations every leader needs to be having all the time, because leadership flows from conversations. You see, leadership is all about changing things for the better, making progress, working with people to get stuff done. And none of that happens without talking to people. Without talking to people, you don't know what's going on. You can't properly work out what needs to happen. And no one is going to do anything differently unless you actually ask them to. Leadership is about changing people's minds, moving people from this is how we do things here to this is how we're going to do things here. So today we're going to talk about the 5 critical conversations you need to be having all the time to really make a difference. Leadership flows from conversations. Actually providing leadership comes down to working out what you think and saying it out loud to the right person in the right way at the right moment. Often, it's immediate, a chance conversation in the corridor, a phone call, or responding to a question in a meeting. But if you want to maximise your impact as a leader, you need to have a system that provides you 2 opportunities. First, your chance to communicate your opinions and decisions. But second, the opportunity to understand what's going on. So much leadership training focuses on working with people to get stuff done and forgets that before you can get stuff done, you need to work out what needs doing, and that means first you have to understand what's going on. Your conversations with the people around you shape how you see the landscape and context you're working in. It's worth remembering that everyone's view is different, and this is a huge problem for leaders. You stand on your hill in that landscape and context, and your hill and the view from it is shaped by your values, your opinions and experience and perspective. And everyone you work with has their own hill made of their own values, opinions, experience and perspective. And that really matters. Just because you see the context around a decision in one way doesn't mean the people you work with see it that way too. And if you isolate yourself from others' opinions and ideas, you might miss out on the best way to deal with something, or the magic opportunity, or the massive risk that will ruin you. The only way you find out is talking to people. And there are 5 critical conversations you need to be having regularly. And of course, the 5th is the most important. I'm going to save the best for last, aren't I? Okay, let's do them. Number 1, obviously, your team. You have to talk with your team. You have to listen to them. Conversations with them are the lifeblood of your leadership, motivating, encouraging, challenging, and supporting them. It all happens in conversation with them. You simply must have a regular team meeting, or at the very least, one-to-ones with your key people. Talking about one-to-ones, my Leadership Upgrade Pack has a simple 4-question framework for a great one-to-one meeting. You should go grab it at benkosh.com. Number 2 critical conversation, your boss. The leadership job always sits between your team and your boss, with your boss representing the corporate intent. And your job is to translate between the two, telling corporate what your team thinks and telling your team what corporate thinks, all coloured in by what you think. And it's not easy, but the only way you really know what corporate are thinking is to talk with your boss. If you haven't already got a weekly or fortnightly meeting with your boss, get them in the diary now. Number 3, critical conversation, your customers. When was the last time you talked to a customer? Whether your customers are people who buy stuff from you or are the other people in your business that your team supports. So if you work in finance, your customers could be the people in other departments who you process transactions or manage accounts for. It doesn't have to be formal. A cup of coffee once a month or a conversation with an actual money-paying customer at the end of a phone call about a particular order. Now, how are things going for you? Is business all right? What are you worried about at the moment or looking forward to? What's going on with you? The more time you spend getting to understand your customers, the better you can shape your team's priorities. Okay, we're getting to the end. 2 more to go, and the 5th is the most important. But number 4, your wider network. You should be making time to chat with people outside of your direct relationships, outside of your team, your boss, and your customers, outside of the people in your business that you work with regularly. This is the one I fall down on most often. We're so busy, it can seem like there isn't time for a free-form, informal chat with Karen from marketing or Andrew from HR that you don't ever work with, but you bumped into on a training day once and got on well with. But those conversations are critical too. If all of the perspectives you're getting come from within your direct specific work in the business, you're just building a narrow view. You should take some time to get beyond this. After I recorded this, I realized this one, it's a bit like the echo chamber in social media. You know that phenomenon where all of your friends on Facebook or the people you follow on TikTok or Instagram all think like you. So you're missing the chance to understand what the rest of the world is thinking. If you work in marketing and you only ever talk with marketing people or interact with the people who interact with the marketing team, you're missing out on what Frank, who runs catering, or IT think about what's going on in the business. You're missing out on that bigger picture. So make some time to make friends outside of your normal circle, just like it's worth making friends with people on Facebook that don't think like you do about politics or religion or whatever. The most important critical conversation of all, and the one that we most often miss out on or fail to make the time for, is number 5, the conversation with yourself. When did you last check in with you? Ask how you're feeling. Check your stress levels. Are you eating right? Sleeping enough? When did you last run through your own priorities and values and make sure your work was reflecting them? Leadership flows from conversations, but it comes from within you. Not your position in the org chart, not your paycheck, not your CV, but from inside you, from the decision you make to lead and the way you translate that decision into conversations with the people around you. The first person we all have to lead is ourselves. And to do that well, you need to check in with yourself. I mentioned my upgrade pack earlier. It also has a daily checklist that helps you plan your day in 5 minutes and includes a daily check-in with you. Okay, those are the 5 critical conversations every leader needs to have. Team, boss, customers, wider network, and you. Leadership flows from conversations. Make sure you have systems in place to have all 5 of those on a regular basis. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching today. Subscribe for more videos about leadership and watch this one next.